The bell above the diner door rang sharply as he pushed it open and stepped inside. Grease sizzled somewhere behind the counter. Plates clinked. A low murmur of tired voices filled the room. He paused just long enough to let his eyes adjust, then walked in like he belonged there, like he was just another man looking for something cheap and warm to eat. He chose the booth closest to the counter and slid in, keeping his head down. Baseball cap pulled low, plain jacket. Nothing about him said owner. Nothing said billionaire. That was the point. A waitress approached with a tired smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Coffee?" "Yes," he said quietly. Then, after a beat, "And toast, just toast." She blinked, surprised, then nodded. "Coming up." Toast. He watched her walk away, her shoulders slightly hunched, her steps quick but careful, like someone who'd learned the cost of mistakes. This diner used to be alive at this hour. Laughter, music, families. Now it felt thin, fragile, like one bad day from breaking. He told himself he was here to observe, to understand. Sales were down, complaints were up, numbers didn't lie. But people did. The coffee arrived. He wrapped his hands around the mug, letting the heat steady him. That's when he heard it. A whisper from behind the counter. Low. Urgent. "He's already decided. We're done." His fingers tightened around the cup. The waitress leaned toward the cook, her voice barely audible over the grill. "I heard it. Corporate's pulling out. He doesn't care who gets hurt." The cook shook his head. "Keep your voice down." His heart thudded once, hard. He leaned back slightly, angling himself closer without looking obvious. The waitress turned away, but the words stayed, hanging in the air like smoke. "He doesn't care." The toast popped up behind the counter. No one moved to grab it. He had built this place from nothing. One diner, then 3, then 12. This location was the first. The heart. He remembered repainting the walls himself, hiring half the staff by name. And now they thought he didn't care. The toast finally arrived. 2 slices, dry. Butter melting unevenly. He didn't touch it. The cook hissed, "You don't know that." "I do," the waitress whispered back. "I saw the inventory numbers. Someone's been changing them, making it look worse than it is." His breath caught. "Who?" the cook asked. She shook her head. "I don't know. But if he shuts us down, my sister's done. She needs this job." The cook swore under his breath. "Don't say his name." She laughed softly. "Why not? He's never here. He won't hear." The words hit harder than any insult. He stared at the toast as if it had personally betrayed him. Never here. He remembered the last time he'd visited in person. 2 years ago. Maybe more. Meetings, expansion, numbers. Always numbers. Somewhere along the way, he'd stopped walking through his own doors. A man at the counter complained loudly about the wait. The waitress apologized twice. He noticed how she kept glancing toward the manager's office like she expected trouble. The manager finally emerged, clipboard in hand, eyes darting. He didn't greet customers, didn't smile. He went straight behind the counter and leaned close to the waitress. "What are you doing?" he snapped under his breath. "I'm working," she said. "You're behind, and stop talking." The cook stiffened. "We're short-staffed." "Not my problem," the manager said. "Just make it look good." Make it look good. The phrase echoed in his head. The manager glanced toward the booths, his eyes sliding over him without recognition. Good. That meant the disguise was working. That also meant something else. No respect. No connection. The waitress set down another plate and murmured, "I'm doing my best." "I don't pay you to try," the manager said. "I pay you to perform." The billionaire felt heat rise in his chest. He stood halfway, then forced himself back down. Not yet. Not like this. He took a bite of toast. It tasted like cardboard. The waitress passed him again. He caught her eye and gave a small nod. Rough shift. She hesitated, then shrugged. Aren't they all? He lowered his voice. Sounds like things are tense. Her jaw tightened. People get scared when they think they're about to lose everything. Why would they think that? She looked toward the manager's office, then back at him. Because someone wants us scared. That was the moment the story stopped being about numbers. Someone's lying, she continued, voice barely there. Changing reports, cutting corners, making us look bad. He swallowed. Have you told anyone? She snorted quietly. Who? The owner? He nodded slowly. Yeah, him. She laughed again, but this time there was no humor in it. He's never here, and if he is, he doesn't listen. The words froze him in place. Never here, doesn't listen. The cook slammed a pan down harder than necessary. Drop it, he muttered. Walls have ears. The manager reappeared, his tone suddenly syrupy. Everything okay over here? Yes, sir, the waitress said immediately. The billionaire watched her face change in a heartbeat. Fear replaced honesty, survival mode. The manager turned to him. Everything good with your food? He met the man's eyes. It's simple. The manager forced a smile. That's what we aim for. As the manager walked away, the billionaire felt something crack inside him. He had built an empire on the idea that leadership meant vision, control, distance. But sitting there, watching fear pass between people who depended on him, he realized distance had turned into silence, and silence had been filled by someone else. He slid out of the booth and walked toward the counter. The waitress stiffened. You forgot your toast, she said quickly. He left cash on the counter. More than enough. Keep it, she frowned. Sir, tell me one thing, he said softly. If the owner walked in right now, what would you say to him? Her mouth opened, closed. Her eyes shone with unshed tears. I'd ask him, she whispered, why he stopped seeing us. That was it. That was the whisper that stopped him cold, not because it revealed sabotage, but because it revealed something worse. He had disappeared, and if he didn't act now, everything he built would collapse, not from failure, but from neglect. He stepped back, heart pounding, knowing the next move would change every life in that diner, including his own. He didn't leave the diner. Instead, he stepped outside, pulled out his phone, and made a single call. I need you to pull today's inventory reports, he said quietly. And the last 6 months, every edit, every timestamp. The voice on the other end hesitated. Sir, is something wrong? Yes, he said, and I think I finally know where. He slipped the phone back into his pocket and returned inside like nothing had changed. The diner carried on around him, orders called out, plates sliding, the low hum of people holding their breath without knowing why. The manager watched him now, closely. He took his seat again, this time at the counter. The waitress approached cautiously. Everything okay? She asked. He met her eyes. I hope so. She gave a small, tired smile and turned away. Minutes passed. His phone vibrated once. Then again. He didn't look at it yet. The manager walked over, clipboard tucked tight against his chest. Sir, if you're done, we do need to turn tables. I'm not done, he said calmly. The manager's smile thinned. We're busy. He glanced around. Half the booths were empty. Sit, the billionaire said quietly. The word landed heavier than he expected. The manager stiffened. Excuse me? Sit, he repeated, still calm, still controlled. The waitress froze. The cook looked up. The air shifted. The manager laughed nervously. Look, I don't know who you think you are. I know exactly who I am, he said. His phone buzzed again. He looked now. The reports confirmed it. Inventory altered. waste inflated, profits buried, all signed off by one user account. The managers. The billionaire stood. "I came here tonight as a customer," he said, voice steady but loud enough to carry, "because I wanted to hear the truth when no one thought I was listening." The manager's face drained of color. "I heard fear," he continued. "I heard loyalty, and I heard people blaming me for something I didn't understand." Murmurs rippled through the diner. The waitress stared at him. "Wait." He took off the cap. Recognition hit in waves, gasps, hands flying to mouths. The cook dropped his spatula. "I'm the owner," he said simply. The manager backed up a step. This is a misunderstanding." "No," the billionaire said. "This is exactly what I came for." He turned to the waitress. "You asked why I stopped seeing you." Her eyes filled. She nodded, unable to speak. "I thought leadership meant distance," he said. "I was wrong." He turned back to the manager. "You thought fear would hide your theft?" "I didn't steal," the manager snapped. "I was protecting this place." "You were protecting yourself," the billionaire replied, "and using my silence to do it." He raised his phone. "I have every report, every edit, every lie." The manager's shoulders slumped. The diner was silent now. "I'm done," the billionaire said. "Effective immediately." Security arrived minutes later, calm and professional. The manager was escorted out without a word. No cheers followed, just stunned quiet. The billionaire looked around. "I owe you all an apology." He paused. "And more than that, I owe you presence." He turned to the waitress. "What's your name?" She swallowed. "Nina." "Nina," he said, "thank you for telling the truth when it scared you." Her lips trembled. I thought it wouldn't matter." "It did," he said. "It saved this place." He addressed the room. "This diner stays open, wages increase, staffing increases, and I'll be here, regularly." The cook let out a breath he'd been holding for years. "I don't want fear to run this place," the billionaire finished. "I want honesty." He stayed until closing. He helped stack chairs, wiped counters, listened. When he finally stepped outside, the diner lights glowed warmer than before. Leadership, he realized, wasn't about being unseen. It was about showing up. If this story moved you, don't scroll past it. Subscribe for more powerful stories about truth, leadership, and quiet moments that change everything. Like this video if you believe listening matters more than power. And comment below, what would you have done if you were in his place? Your voice matters more than you think.